Testing the Casio G-Shock again. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh. Before I wipe this off, that is not scratch resistant. And if we just add human weight to it, put 300 pounds on top of your G-Shock, it starts repairing itself. So I ran this thing over with a truck, threw it, tried to tear it apart, and it still survived. No surprise there. You can check out that full video in the link below. But today we're going to see if we can actually get this thing to stop working. Last test, I did a drop test and threw it around. So this one we're going to do a little bit different. Instead of throwing the watch on the ground, I'm going to throw the ground on the watch. AKA, I'm going to throw a brick at this watch. So here's the brick. And I'm just going to drop it, not necessarily throw it on the watch, but this will be a direct hit, hopefully. I think we just witnessed a G-Shock breaking a brick instead of the other way around. And yeah, it's still running. We're gonna do this one more time. I'm gonna drop this around 6 feet. See what happens. Nothing happens. To the watch, at least. The brick is done. Yeah, I wasn't too happy with that. I didn't actually think the watch was going to survive, so I'm blaming the brick. So I got a bigger brick. It's heavy, and this should do something. About 4 feet. That's where I'm dropping it from. It's at these moments you question what kind of videos you make. Alright, that definitely took a chunk out of the watch. I could just know it. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. It's still working. The glass shattered, but it's still working, if you can tell. The digital seconds. See, there's a 3, and it just and the minute. Okay, everything's working still. So, heavier brick won't break G-Shock. Now, honestly, the hardest thing about this test is coming up with ways to destroy a watch without destroying the watch, because I could easily take a sledgehammer to this thing and break it. Even though at this point I feel like the G-Shock actually may win, but trying to be a little creative here. So weird angle, yeah, because there is currently a rope tied to the tree. Now, why is there a rope tied to the tree? So I get a little bit more leverage when trying to rip these handles off. Now I feel like that buckle's going to come off first. That buckle looks like it's going to snap off. Oh, buckle snapped off. Spring bar is no longer springing. Don't ask how I did it, because I really don't know how it worked, but I managed to get quite a few strands of the cord through one of the holes. So the test continues, but this side I'm on the buckle side. The rope's giving out more than the watch. Oh, wow. That thing's almost coming apart. I'm gonna give it one good tug, this time on the case of the watch. Reposition one more time. Try the left hand. Nope, back to right. That thing's not budging. Wow. Well, that's definitely not going anywhere. So I guess the weak point was the buckle, but these straps are pretty much indestructible. It's actually day 2. The watch is still working, still got the rope attached to it. It just got a little too dark, so decided to make this a 2-day video. Smashed it with a brick, pulled it apart, still working, even after sitting for 24 hours. But now we're going to use a rock, just like a river stone, for scratch resistance. It's just some light Very light here. Well, that messed it up. And less than I thought. It was worse before I wiped it. Let's go a little harder here. Oh, this seems pretty bad. Okay. Before I wipe this off, that is not scratch resistant with a rock, which I guess makes sense. But now, whoa, look at that. It's still scratched. The case side itself, since it's metal, it's stainless steel, I'm betting this is going to be harder to scratch. No, that was pretty easy to scratch. And then the case back. Also pretty easy to scratch. So most definitely scratch if you take a rock and scratch it. So I think this might be the last test. Because the glass is broken, I don't really think it's going to survive the water pressure test. Got weights now. This is 25 pounds. It fits perfectly in the hole, so that's not going to do anything. So I'm just going to rest it on top here and see if anything happens. 45. Next up, we'll do 50 pounds. Slightly different angle for this one. We're going to try 90 pounds. There actually is a little bit more damage. You can see where the second marker is. There's a crack in that glass. I don't even know how that's possible. It's like cracked internally. Frame is still good. If we put them on its side, I know it's not the full 25, but if we stack everything, and if we just add human weight to it, this is well into about 300 pounds on top of this watch right now, and I don't hear a single crack. Do a little wiggle. Okay, I didn't hear anything. Are you kidding me? There was a crack right there. It was not water. Okay. There was definitely a crack internally right there by the second marker. And now it's gone. Did it just repair itself while it was... So it just had some sort of power-up. I guess if you put 300 pounds on top of your G-Shock, it starts repairing itself. I actually feel a little defeated. But I know I can destroy it, but actually now I'm really questioning if I could. But I didn't think it was going to survive the brick. 2 bricks. I didn't think it was going to survive me pulling on it with all my weight. And the buckle end I kind of predicted, but this, not even the spring bar, I don't even know how that survived. And then the scratch test was kind of how I expected it to be, but honestly, it's not terrible. And then the 300, not it to be exact, but 300 pounds on top of it, and it repaired itself. Just went a little bit further these past 2 days. You can't break this watch. I mean, even if someone's in an extreme profession, their arm would most likely be more broken than the watch itself. It's the more extreme test on the Casio G-Shock, and this is the Casio version. Leave a comment below if you want to see me test some other watches, or if you want to see me test a G-Shock versus G-Shock. Let's see if maybe different models can hold up. Maybe different models are more rugged than the other. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up.